Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another live stream. If you are new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Before we hop onto these charts, make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading is risky. Most traders lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Make sure you always do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even if funded prop firm accounts. And the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top Up Futures code RDF, Bookmap, and others. What's going on, traders? How are we doing this morning? Getting started nice and early today. It is 7:37 a.m. Eastern. Got that nice pre-market 7:30 a.m. start time rolling with you guys. Been enjoying it, man. It's been fun. Let's see what we got going on in the chat, man. Anybody up early? Dwayne's up early. What's up? Tom up early. What's going on? What's going on? Pam in here early. Arcanes. Oh, I can't get that one. I'm gonna call you X because it's on the end. X is here early. What's up? Bonjours. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Appreciate you guys hopping on. As always, thank you for being here, man. I am grateful for every last person that hops on, hangs out in a live stream, says what's up, throws a like, a subscribe, a comment, or just hangs out, man. Just doesn't say anything but hangs out. I appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for being here. Gonna be looking to get some scalping in. Man. I made a note. I do want to focus up and get some NQ scalping in, man. I've had some awesome guests on stream. That's been super cool. I've had some massive giveaways. We've had a lot of fun. I do want to focus up a little bit more on my live streams. I think it's fun to have entertainment rolling, right? To be having a great time on stream. But I would also like to be able to really focus up a little bit on these charts, man. So, on that note, good morning, Purple Ninja. Good morning, everybody else. If I missed you, what's happening? On that note, let's jump into it, man. We have the 15-minute chart for NQ opened up right here on TradingView. We've been scalping NQ pre-market. I'm going to do that. We got a couple hours before market opens up. We're going to get some NQ scalps in. We're going to get comfortable trading on TradingView with Tradovate. I'm not quite ready to log in to Tradovate itself and start trading straight off a Tradovate chart. Maybe we mess with that later today. But for now, we're not going to go that route. But before we do that, I am still looking to trade YM off of the open. Haven't really gotten much in the live account this week. I am green. I think I've only taken like 2 trades in the Top 1 Futures live account. This was the first week that I got kicked over to Tradovate off of Project X. So I'm still going to look to take those YM trades, those kind of, I guess you would call it like an intraday swing trade, like a day swing trade. It's not really an actual term because day trading and swing trading are 2 different things. But those longer hold trades, right? Fuller size, longer holds on YM. So let's go ahead and get that marked up a little bit, framed out. So this was yesterday, this was from yesterday. I had prior day high marked out as a key level of interest, and I had this 50,107s. Kind of just coming off of these lows here, nothing much else looking left, coming off of the low, right, prior day low. You can see how that did come into play. Really nice back and forth movement here out of YM. Kind of chopping, right, kind of chopping up here around this high. Take a look at what we have on news coming up. But so far how we opened up on YM for pre-market, at least Asia London, popped to the upside off the open, as in session changeover open. Not to be confused with NYSE Open, which I need to designate. Really have just been drifting above VWAP here. Kind of chilling out in what I would call the middle of this range, right? We came up here on the big push to the upside after we broke out of this really choppy back and forth multi-week range. And now we've kind of been hanging out up here. Maybe this is all we have to do. You know, if we pulled down deeper yesterday, like all the way into here, we like pulled a really big clean out move and then came back up, I'd probably say it's lights out. This looks like we want to push to the upside. You know, if we swept a high really aggressively and then like came back down here and settled, I might say, hey, I'm I'm ready for shorts really aggressively. We really didn't do any of that. We kind of just chopped, expanded a little bit, and you know, here we are kind of sitting in the middle ground, not quite at this temporary volume point of control, a little bit above that, but not much for this session so far. Very tight overnight range, not even testing prior day high or low. Looking like we're getting ready to figure out if we want to do that before NYSE open. But on the daily chart, you can see what we got going on here. Kind of just chilling up here around the highs. So, not a lot of clarity out of YM, which is why I don't have a lot of trades on it, man. It's pulling these crazy back and forth movements and really just not doing too much. Off of the open, this can present some nice trading opportunities. This was really close. This is into the, you know, latter part of the morning after breaking IB low to the downside. You know, maybe stupid aggressively long. But I'm going to leave most of what I have marked up here. I'm going to leave this off of the all-time high. I'm going to get rid of this. I don't need that zone there. I don't have any zones on this chart at all. Yeah, I mean, if we're not going to come down here, I'm just looking at, like, if I want to draw, you know, any of these bad boys on here. You know, if we're not going to come down and break yesterday's low, like, that would be an interesting spot, right? Kind of off of Tuesday's low here, and then off of some of these lows from yesterday's session. If you had said, Zach, you have to draw a zone, that's where it would be. Obviously, yesterday's high and low, key levels, I don't need to mark that. My volume profile gives it to me. It's kind of nice, like, the way that volume profile lines up here. I know that this is yesterday's low, yesterday's high, so I don't need to mark those off. I do like to have all-time high level, like, marked out, like, just in case I'm over here like this. I'm like, hey, this is, you know, really important. We do want to pay attention to that. Outside of that, like, if we start to sell off, right, where are we looking on this thing? Because, man, the the levels are coming into play really clean. I don't like to brag or you know, say anything has any more predictive power than anything else. I don't think much of it does. But man, if I had just been trading off my levels on YM, on NQ, you know, yesterday's bounce off of NQ was like stupidly clean. It was a major low before that huge reversal. I'd probably be doing even better than I am right now. But yeah, so like key levels to the downside, right? You know, if we come outside of these lows, where am I looking to the downside, right? Looking left, coming off of all these highs, volume points and controls, right? This is what I would be interested in. Down below that, what's the next spot? Looking left, this area right in here, right? Really easy. I'm taking the easy route, looking at these as you know, volume points of controls and a really, you know, high volume node here. I would really do the same thing, looking left again on the 1 hour chart. What would we be getting? Tops and bottoms, right? Highs and lows, support and resistance, supply and demand, order block, whatever the hell you want to call a stupid rectangle that you draw on your chart, right? Most of mine come from price action, market structure, which is interchangeable, and volume profiles, both session volume profiles, right? Daily fixed range volume profiles, either one, and a combination of visible range volume profile, zoomed out, right? So that's what we got going on here. These would be my magic levels. Go ahead, mark them down. You could take a look at how NQ worked out yesterday. We were trading the 1 minute chart, right? I was hanging out with Clay. I said, man, here's my level that I wanted to draw. This is not a hindsight level. Look at how beautiful that is. Like I said, if we only traded right off of the level and right off of VWAP yesterday, we would have been in the money big time. Was also getting short in here. That was a nice level that we had marked out. Really, really clean. But we'll come back to this. Let me not get ahead of myself here. Let's come back to YM real quick. There we go. Okay, YM in the 15-minute chart, and we got some levels marked up. Framing some trades just so we kind of know what we're looking for ahead of the open. We pop to the upside, I'm going to fade it. We dump to the downside, I'm going to fade it. I'm going to buy that dip. Same kind of mean reversion play that I'm looking for. Man, I'd be waiting for a crack of this all-time high. I didn't take this short yesterday because I don't think that's enough. We already traded to yesterday's value area high. You know, this could be an area that we stop, right? You can see the volume profile here. You can see the price action here. This could be an area that we stop into the, let's say, 520s, 530s. If I'm going to short this, I'm going to be short an all-time high. Downside, so up here, right? Key level. If I long this off the open, at very best, it's into this level. If I'm long before this level, I did something wrong. Sleeping pre-market, you know, Asia, London right now, lows, right, into NYSE open at 9:30. Maybe in here. Maybe in here, right? I'd probably be waiting for a pretty deep push down here, right? Like, let's say the 50,000 evens, you know, somewhere into the 50,000 evens. So, for a long. That's framing some trades on YM. Now, let's get back over to, we're going to be looking at MNQ, because NQ's a little bit too much sauce for me on the sim accounts that I'm trading, the 50Ks. That's what I'm scalping here with you guys. I'm logged in through Trade8 here. We'll talk about what I got rolling. I shared a little bit on IG yesterday. I'll start to throw P&Ls in one of the Discord channels as well. But if you're here live with me, watch this stuff play out anyway. But we got some funded accounts ready to rip, man. Got the little empire getting built in the sim world. Yeah, so kind of similar structure out of NQ yesterday, like big push to the upside, big dump, and then just a choppy back and forth expansion up here. Not quite the same as YM, right? Because we have all of this looking left. If I had to draw some levels on NQ on the 15-minute, I really don't feel the need to get too zoomed out on the 15-minute here for pre-market. I just kind of want to see this trend that we have developing to the upside. We're just drifting higher. Right, you know we got VWAP down here. We got a little bit of volume right here. This was an interesting spot from yesterday, right into the afternoon. Multiple volume points of control right here. So, you know, we are at a key spot from a higher time frame view before we get ready to drop down to the 1 minute. We zoom out a little bit, just get a feel for what we got going on. Yeah, so we're at our current value area high, right? This is current session that's forming for pre-market on MNQ here. You know, we're at our current value area high, kind of pushing outside of this area that we hung out in for quite a while. We'll see if we can't get some really aggressive scalpy style trades here, looking at price action, using a little bit of order flow over here to the left-hand side. Let's get that order card pulled up. Don't really care about buy or sell right now. Just want to get ready to frame this out, take a look at what this volatility looks like. We can trade minis here for pre-market. Yeah, we could definitely trade minis here for pre-market. We could get a little bit more aggressive. You know what? Let's do that. Let's get on the big boy contract. Yeah, I was looking at volatility from yesterday. If you take a look down here, we're at 5.4 on the ATR. That's pretty light. So I'm gonna get away, not with 5 minis. I'm gonna get away with trading a mini here. Let's just take a look at what we have going on, just to get, you know, what I'm doing here, guys, essentially is using the ATR, and then instead of using a measurement tool like this, I'm just being lazy and I'm using the order card here. Like, I'm not ready to take an order. I'm just throwing, you know, what does a 100 tick take profit and stop loss look like, right? You know, what is a 20, you know, tick here on NQ this morning look like, right? Based on this volatility. That's really all I'm doing here. Kind of just dragging out and seeing what I want to work with, risk structure wise, right? So yeah, man, we could get super scalpy in here. I think we're gonna be able to work with a really tight take profit and stop loss today if I'm gonna get super scalpy off this 1 minute chart. So just taking a look at where we're at, right? Drifting above VWAP. At value area high. If I zoom out here on the 1 minute again, get rid of that. Yeah, kind of just drifting to the upside. Do we have a key level that we're coming into? Something I really want to be careful of overhead? Yeah, kind of. Kind of. All right, we're kind of testing this, so we can go either way from here. I'm going to be unbiased. I'll take shorts on this little uptrend, no problem. I'm going to be using order flow over here to the right-hand side, looking at NQ's book map. Just seeing if we got little stacks of orders, little areas of liquidity we want to come in and out, and how that lines up with price action. Let's see. We might be able to go really tight here. This is a slow moving morning, right? Pretty slow moving morning. That's super duper tight. 20 ticks, but not so tight on this price action, right? We're scalping for some small movements yesterday. Let's see if we want to get we want to try that price plus offset type of deal again, if we're buying, just to play around with this a little bit. Cool. All right, we'll watch the chart. We'll see what we got going on. Full porting pre-market. Oh yeah. We're gonna full port, guys. No, no need to full port anything. No need to full port anything. Let's see what we got coming up for news. It is, before I jump into any trades here, start scalping away like an absolute psychopath. Let's pull up some news. And again, guys, what I'm doing on here, very different than YM. If you want the full details on, hey, why is Zach on NQ scalping like a crazy person with, a 30 take profit or something on a, on a Trade of 8 account? Like, what's he doing trading sim accounts, right? Hop in my Discord. I'm going to try not to repeat myself because I got the same people on here every day. You guys probably get bored of the same monologue. I keep you guys updated. Not only do I trade live almost every single day, showing entries, exit stops, like directly from the chart, not just talking about trading live, I also give you a ton of context. I talk about why I'm doing what I'm doing, how that's working out for me, goals that I'm setting, how I'm working towards those. If you're interested in that, hop in the Discord. It's pinned to the top of the chat. Go to Zach's Trades. I have tons of stuff that I write up and I yap for 7-minute voice messages. If you're interested in what the hell I'm doing here from that context, please hop in Discord. I'll try not to repeat myself every single live session, right? I'm going to describe what I'm doing in detail. But make sure you hop in Discord, man, and you can get context, right? How long has this dude been trading? What is his track record in other accounts? Why is he, does he trade live accounts? Is he trading sim accounts? What is he doing with them? How aggressive is he being, right? I try to share all that stuff because I think it's important. It's the stuff that I wanted to know about when I was watching guys trade, right? I was like, well, this is cool watching you do this, but what's going on in the background? Like, what the hell is what are you doing with everything? So taking a look here, we got 8:30 a.m. unemployment claims coming up. So that's in about 35 minutes. I do want to remember that that's coming up. I'm not going to care about holding, little scalpy trades through news. I don't have any restrictions on, at least on this account. I don't believe right now that I'm going to trade. But that's a red folder news event that's probably going to provide some volatility. Tomorrow we got CPI. Oh, we have a holiday on Monday. What? I didn't even realize we had a holiday on Monday. Damn, son. I'm sure is futures what is this, President's Day? Okay, this is important to know, right? Gives us some context for this week. I should wake my ass up here. So banks are closed. No. Stock market's closed. Stock market's closed. Bond market's closed. Obviously, banks are closed. Is the futures market open? I'm sure it's going to be open or a half day. Probably a half day. Yeah, it's a half day. Okay, so Monday's a no trade day. Monday's a no trade day at all. Maybe just a flip day if you're in sim accounts. But I forgot that we had another holiday coming up. That's crazy. Damn. All right. Just want to see if I'm missing any other holidays coming in the next couple weeks. Not really. Yeah, so we got a bank holiday. Bank stock, U.S. stock markets, NASDAQ, NYSE all closed. Bond markets closed. Probably like usual effects right here. Low liquid, irregular volatility. Not going to trade that. So we'll do no stream on Monday. But yeah, we got some news coming the rest of the week. But important to note that, right? Important to check a financial calendar and figure out what you got coming up. So yeah, man, we'll watch out for 8:30 today and tomorrow. Next week, we're looking pretty clear. We get FOMC minutes on Wednesday. Then we got some heavy news on Friday as well. So, but that's important to note. It's important to note. Let's see what we got rolling here, man. Getting ready to get some scalpy trades in here. Really thin book here for NQ. Pulled a little bit of a dip lower. The way I'm using Bookmap is I'm looking at these levels right here, right? Areas of interest on the chart. Levels of liquidity above and below price. for some scalpy style movements. Thesis is maybe we move into these with a little bit of force, and then we bounce after getting there. Looking for a buy to front run these 350s that we look like we want to go trade towards. Catch a little bounce off of this structure that's forming here. Maybe come up here and sweep a little bit of liquidity. We got some buyers stepping in right here above the 350s. Little scalpy style price action, market structure plays using some order flow. Again, I'm testing this price plus or minus an offset. I'm curious to see, you know, how this continues to work out for me. I'm going to play with it a little bit more. Limit order, for example, today, limit order -2. This is like really slow moving relative to not really slow moving, but a little slow moving. Oh, got some buyers stepping in, defending this low here. I'm waiting for like one dip down here, guys, towards these 350s to take out this low, and then I'd like to buy down here as we're cracking lower for a little move back up. Might not get that. We might pop right back up here. Again, just playing price action and structure in the way that I would like to play price action and structure. Let's see. That's an interesting spot right down here. You can just see all the tops and bottoms that have been put in. Might be wanting to come all the way back down here. Pretty slow, choppy moving ahead of news coming at 8:30 a.m. Let's see if we come and hit these 350s that I'm waiting for. Nope, we don't want those 350s, at least not yet. Let's see. You know what? Let's test a limit order fill on well, these are technically limit order fills, so I am testing them. Let's see if we come around those 350s. Nice round psychological number as well. Buyers stepping in off these lows the whole time. Let's see. One more little dip down. Looking for a little long C. Get the scalp session started out right. There we go. Got tagged into a little long here. Let's see if we can't catch a little bounce off these 350s. We are cracking a low. Kind of similar to how I enter on YM. Pretty aggressive to the downside. You can get your face ripped off really quickly, right? You know, you're fading the initial movement of price. But nice round psychological number. key level on, at least for what was going on this very, very light chart. This is not a lot of orders on the book at all. It's a pretty thin market right now, at least for what I would see relative to like NYSE session or anything like that. But just looking for these little reversion movements off of key levels, right? You know, there's always going to be a case to be made to say you're going with the trend or against the trend. Well, I'm against this trend, but maybe I'm with this trend, right? And then maybe you zoom out even more and you say, no, you're against this trend. And or maybe you zoom in like this and you say, I'm with this trend, right? So I'm going to try to trade with the trend, but it's always subjective, right? Which trend are you talking about? You know, which time frame are you looking at? You know, how zoomed in or zoomed out are you, right? If I go like that, you'd probably say, oh yeah, man, buys above VWAP, higher highs and higher lows, right? Maybe you get super duper close and you say, well, we're, you know, right here for the last couple minutes we're selling off, so you know you're against that current time frame trend. But I do like buys in this market at least sitting above VWAP here. But looks like I'm going to take the first stop of the morning. No rejection off of these 50s, at least right here that I wanted. For a quick crack right back up here, maybe even higher, like maybe I would have liked for a little take profit. But so far just drifting lower, back at this temporary volume point of control forming on the volume profile that we have for current session. But again, scalping on some accounts with super low risk, right, relative to what I'm usually using. We're on 1 mini here, but very, very light. Going to allow myself a lot of trades, right? Plenty of wins, plenty of losses to work myself towards some profit. And it's been working pretty well in later into the afternoon. I might have to run some afternoon sessions, man. It's been working pretty damn well later into the afternoon, getting really aggressive. Obviously, it plays out much quicker on a lot faster moving market. A lot of volatility in that, you know, NYSE session here on NQ on low time frames. Let's keep the DOM up. This way we can kind of see how that plays. We can also use our flatten, cancel all market, buy market, sell market buttons down here, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, interesting. We got a holiday, bank holiday on Monday, President's Day. So going to be no trading on that day, man. I'll take some flip trades, right? Some scalpy stuff just to log a trading day. If I'm trading accounts where you have to have minimum trading days, that type of deal. But outside of that, not going to be an ideal day to trade, in my humble opinion. Morning, Zach and all. Good morning. Why do I always feel so stressed before market open? I don't know. You're probably suffering from a couple of different things. First off, there's always a level of stress, right? In trading, you're probably, if you're asking yourself, why you consistently feel that way, probably a couple of things. You might not have a lot of confidence in what you're doing. So putting risk on the line when you don't have confidence in your edge, in your experience, your abilities, that can be stressful in general. The option number 2 is, and probably the most obvious one is, you have too much risk on the line. You're not comfortable losing how much money you have on the line, right? I think you watch me trade. I'm pretty stress-free, right? I get jacked up. I make jokes, right? I put out memes about, taking your last trade before a payout like I did yesterday, stuff like that. But the baseline is, if you're stressed, if you're sweating, if you're nervous and anxious, you probably have too much risk on. You're trading an account that has too much risk on the line. You need to come back to something that does not make you anxious at all. That's really where you need to start and stay and grab consistency. So, or lose, it doesn't make me anxious at all. I want to win, I want to prove to myself that I know how to trade, I want to build an edge, all these fun things that we all want to do. But you shouldn't be sweating whether or not that, that next trade, like, I'm sitting in here, hits a take profit or a stop loss. You really want to be trading, with low enough risk where it doesn't bother you, right? It doesn't bother you from, it doesn't make you anxious, right? If you do that, you can focus on trading. You could focus on actually trading. I could focus on order flow here, right? I could focus on putting the trade on at the right time. I could focus on, setting my stop loss at a take profit at area that makes sense, using price offsets, right? And then actually stand a chance at, you know, making money. I could watch what works, what doesn't work. I could say, okay, well, I entered here and, you know, today I got stopped out and, you know, we were around the volume point of control, rather than, oh my God, man, if I don't make this one, it's $200. I need this money for rent, or I need this trade to work out so I could take a payout and finally, you know, like if you're on that level, you don't stand a chance, in my humble opinion. So there's always going to be a level of stress and anxiety, but take as much of that away as you can by reducing risk, right? You know, there's that saying holds true, right? If you're stressed out in a trade, if you're anxious in a trade, you probably got too much risk on. You know, lower that. Lower that until you're confident and comfortable. You should, again, do that in demo. Yeah, looks like I want to come and grab these orders at the 40s. Do that in demo until you're very comfortable, right? Until you gain some consistency. I think it doesn't make any sense to come off of demo before you have any reason to believe you have an edge in the first place. And then, you know, put risk on the line and realize that it's not the same game, and that, of course, you know, everything's much harder when there's money on the line. There's my stop there. And then increase risk from there, right? Increase risk from there. But you shouldn't be super stressed out trading. It's a good indication that you have way too much risk on the line. So we got stop number 1, continuing lower, not finding buyers off of the 50s. Big part of that trade was coming down into these 25 350s, looking for us to find some buyers there. We didn't do that. Really just continued to drift lower. Trading the 25 338s, 39s right now. It does look like this is maybe the low. We want to find some buyers. I'm actually tempted to long this thing again, but I'm going to give myself a second to reset here. I would really like a long right in here off the 340s. You know, that was obviously not my initial thesis on this. You know, here's something that this would look like. Looks like that's going to be the trade back up towards volume point of control. Bounce all the way back up to the 50s, where now we flipped and we have sell orders here. Something like this would have been pretty clean. What? Let's see where we go from here. Retesting the 50s, 25 350s. This is what I was looking for to happen right off of the. Let's see. Oh, good morning all. Good morning. Anxious to take trades. Muted. No, we're back in action. We're back in action, scalping away. Let's see. See what this market's got for me today, man. Like I said, I want to focus up, want to get some trading in pre-market here. We did some really fun giveaways yesterday. We've been having some guests on. I do want to work on this lower time frame scalping edge that I'm attempting to build here. Zooming out a little bit on the 1 minute since we're so damn zoomed in. Get a frame of reference. Yeah, nice test down here. I think another level that we can move down to would be all the way down in here. If I had to say what else is on this chart that's interesting, I think this would be the next level that we move down to, which is right near VWAP, if we're going to sell off. If not, I think we hold this and push higher, right back up to where we were. So I'm looking to buy this again. If I get cooked and we come right back down to VWAP, I would probably buy it off of VWAP. Call me crazy. Let's get back to our standard. This is really wide, man. This is pretty wide for what we were doing here, honestly. I just feel crazy getting much tighter than this on a take profit and a stop loss on NQ. But this is pretty slow moving. This is really slow moving. Like, you know, relative to yesterday, right? We're trading with a 30 on the 1 minute ATR. So yeah, we're gonna have to zoom in and get even tighter on stop loss and take profit. But yeah, part of getting comfortable on NQ as well is adjusting for volatility, right? You scalping some really, really tight movements. Just get a feel for what that looks like, maybe with like 2 minis. Oh, not 255. $35 down here. We got some liquidity. Let's see. Ooh, there we go. Nice wick lower.
Order filled.
We'll try that bad boy from down here. I actually like this for a really nice movement back up here. But I'm going to keep this one pretty scalpy. I'm going to try this one from down here, right? Again, buying for a reversion back up towards this this volume point of control here. Little scalpy movements. We are selling off. I think we could come right down through to VWAP. I'm buying into some of these dips right here. Looking to play along with this higher time. Well, not this is 1 minute chart, not really high time frame, but looking to play along with this higher time frame trend, trying to buy off some of these dips here. But looks like we just want to keep dipping. So if I get cooked on this one, I'm going to be interested around VWAP. I'll take my foot off the gas on buying anything again until we start to trend back up to the upside. But I do want to give this one more shot. We got quite a bit back up at 350. I think we could get this really nice snap back to the upside. I think we could come all the way back up here. So a take profit level could go like all the way in here. It's just not really the way that I'm trading these really small scalpy style movements, going for larger take profits. Not that relative to what I usually do that this is a large take profit. But I'm going to leave this one as is. I think I had a like a 25 take stop loss and a 30 take profit with 2 minis here. But yeah, so far looks like we just want to keep dipping, man. Looks like we do want to come back down towards VWAP.
Stop fill.
There we go. 0-2 so far. 0-2. Buying for a pushback up towards this volume point of control. Not getting it. Just continuing to sell off. Like I said, off of VWAP I would try it. But outside of that, I'm going to go off the gas for now. 0-2. Let's get it rolling, guys. Let's get it rolling. Let's see if we can get the nice comeback here. Or if I could just proceed to get absolutely smoked on NQ trading pre-market. Again, very low risk relative to, for me, relative to the account that I'm trading, all that fun stuff. Ability to take multiple trades, right? Higher frequency. So I'm going to be fine taking a handful of L's before start working myself towards some profit. If need be. Not that that's the goal. Not that that's what I'd like to do. Love to hop on and just take straight W's. But happy to take a couple L's. Yeah, so we got VWAP at 315s. I'm watching this to the downside, man. Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to take this really aggressively off of this low again. Unfortunately, I'm sure this is where we bounce really, really nicely back up towards that that current volume point of control. Don't mean to have my head craned, but I'm watching Bookmap over here as well. Just taking a look at ES, at YM. Really nice bounce near this zone. Really nice bounce near this zone, but not before wicking all the way to the downside, getting close to this VWAP level. But starting off the session down 460. Let's see. see what this market's got for us today, man. So far, it's got some L's for me. So far, we got some L's. But, again, man, just getting warmed up. Just getting warmed up today. Just getting warmed up on NQ, really. Excited to trade more pre-market, more midday afternoon sessions when YM is not moving around. Even morning sessions on NQ. And get some scalping in. Let's see. Buyer stepped in off these 25 320s. Cooked me on the first two longs. Now we're finding it off of these lows all the way down near VWAP. Let's see. I would try this bad boy. Like I said, I would try this bad boy long again off of VWAP, not above it. Not after getting stopped out twice. But let's see what we do over here. Let's see what we do over here. Appreciate you guys hopping on. Good morning, good morning. You guys were talking about anxious day trades. Scalping strat is a kind of a mini version of your YM strat, if I'm interpreting right. You know, most of all of what I do, really, the fundamentals is the same. And I think you find this with most traders, right? The baseline, like the foundation of my trading, the thesis, the way that I view the market, it's really going to be the same, whether I'm looking at YM on the 15-minute and, you know, really zoomed out, or NQ on the 1-minute. The nuances and where I'm taking more or less information is going to be a little bit different, right? I'd say on YM, like on NQ here, the thesis is the same, right? The way that I view price action, market structure, and volume, the tools that I use, it's all the same. What would be like inherently different? Obviously, much faster moving, much tighter stop loss and tighter take profit. The thesis of the trades is that they play out, you know, quickly to be right or wrong, like right away. I am using bookmap much heavier. I'm weighting, you know, bookmap in my decision making and the little areas of interest that come up by way of levels of liquidity much heavier here on NQ. I'd say I'm more unbiased by way of like overall direction with really small scalping style. No. You guys still live with me? No. Don't kick me off live, YouTube. What happened, man? This happened the other day. What in the world, man? Looks like I'm still here with you guys. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Let me check this. Hang on 1 second, chat. I'll be right back. Hang on. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna try to make sure I get this rolling. All right, guys, back in action here. I'm gonna try to keep this thing rolling. I don't know what's going on. Don't know what's causing it. It looks like of course, it kicked me off of everything. I don't know, man. I don't know what's up with these streaming services. A little bit frustrating, but we're gonna keep it rolling. I'm gonna keep it rolling. Apologies, man. Let's see what we can get going. Let's see what we get going, man. 0 for 2. Scalping away here on NQ. Watching the move back down towards VWAP. Looking to take another long like an absolute psychopath. Looks like it logged me out of everything here, so that's super fun. That's super duper fun. Hang tight here, guys. Hang tight. Let me go ahead and throw a graphic up. In the meantime, while I get myself logged back in on let me go ahead and leave this on a trading view. Super annoying. If you want to check out Top 1 Futures, we had Clay, founder of Top 1 Futures, on the show yesterday. Go ahead and hit the link in the chat. Are we logged back in? Nice, we're logged back in. There we go. There we go. There we go. We're ready. We're ready, chat. I like that for a little bracket we got rolling here. We got 8:30 news coming up pretty quick. Let's see. Yeah, man, stream's giving me warnings. I don't know what this thing is doing. Super annoying. Anyway, we got 5 minutes to some red folder news. Like I was just mentioning, if you want to check out Top 1 Futures, link is gonna be in the chat. These are the accounts that I am primarily trading. The live account, certainly, the one that you see me trading almost every damn day. You want to check that out? Link is in the chat. Yo, boss, buy or sell for you? Sell or buy for you. That's what you said. Well, you're watching me take some buys, so it was buy for me, but that cooked me. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see if I can't catch another one down here around VWAP. Still looking long. Maybe I'm carrying too much of a bullish bias because I'm looking at this chart moving to the upside here. Started taking buys in here as we are finally breaking some structure to the downside. This does look like we want to try to crack back up. Pull down lower here. Tested a little bit of liquidity. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going on this one, guys. I wanted to see if we were gonna get down right here into VWAP. We didn't do that yet. Of course, now we're catching the bounce out of this level. Let's see what we get down here. $350's got some liquidity. Yeah, we came up above. Buyer stepped in right below. This is interesting. Again, guys, we got about 3 minutes to red folder news, so I am not looking to YOLO news. It can be fun to do, but I don't need to do that. So we got about 3 minutes to that red folder news coming up here at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. I'd be cautious if you are trading right now. We are probably going to see some volatility come into these markets. We can watch that, maybe wait for it to settle a little bit, and then get some more scalpy moves in. See if I can't get the little comeback rolling. Again, taking real high frequency of trades, or much higher frequency of trades, I think you do have to be ready for losses to come on the front end. You got to be ready for wins to come on the front end. Back and forth so far here for pre-market, though. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the stream. If I lose you guys again, I'll try to reset, but apologies for stream issues. I can't wrap my head around it. It might be the one provider that I use when I'm streaming solo. the multi-stream provider. But anyway, we'll see. See if we keep buffering here. But let's get ready for some news. We got some news coming here at 8:30. Getting ready to blast us off. Let's see what NQ gives us here. About 60 seconds. Let's see what news has got for us today. Let's see. Here we go, 8:30 a.m. Volatility coming in. Book getting nice and thin. Super annoying. I don't know what's up with this stream. 1 second, guys. But we'll have to see. Okay. Looks like not a whole lot of reaction out of NQ. Obviously, some volatility coming in here at 8:30, but not a big movement really at all relative to what we could be seeing for a red folder news event. Finding buyers here off these lows, starting to drift to the upside after a little wick down. Looks like we do want to trade these 350s again. That's what I was buying off of and then buying back towards. Let's see. All right, through the 350s, trading 351, right back to that volume point of control. Now, do we blast off higher to just continue this move to the upside here? Do we start to catch a little bit of a reversion again, now off of this level? If I had to enter stupid aggressively, it would be short right off of this level. But I'm cautious now. I'm cautious now taking the other side. If I had to take a really quick scalpy trade, it would be short right in here. But we got news here. 3 minutes into that, could still see some volatility. Yeah, see, still could see some volatility coming in after that. We got CVD jumping to the upside. Let's see. Kind of this bigger, trendy back and forth movement. Yeah, I'm looking at this potentially short off the 60s. Coming outside of this area of high volume here, right? Cracking these 50s. Didn't quite get the 60s. You know, we got an area of interest up here, right? All these tops and bottoms. All these tops, really, from recent price action. Could see that for a little rejection there. Looks like we want to pull it a little bit earlier, but I'm interested in a quick short on this bad boy. So I think we either catch a nice reversion on this, or we trade right back through the highs. All the way right back through these highs. So let's see. Trading through the 60s right here.
Order filled.
Nice. Getting some, again, getting some tests in here. So these are filling me right away. Just for reference here, right? I'm entering limit. Oh, was I just at the bid on that one, or was I limit +2? I thought I was limit +2. Thought I was limit +2 on that one. Excuse me, bid +2 on that one. Ooh. I'm going to be hands off after this one, man. Cracking to the upside, not catching the reversion. I'm 0-3. I'm going to be hands off after this one, guys. Absolutely smoked. Absolutely smoked. Absolutely smoked. 0-3 to start out the morning here, guys. 760 down on the morning. Yeah, I'm going to be hands off now. Was looking for a reversion off of these 60s. We started to get a little bit of it, but obviously we were just pulling this big trendy back and forth, and I'm reading this as trying to catch these little pivot points here. Not doing that. Not doing that at all. I was looking at this level right in here, along with some liquidity on the book. Looking at really right in here off the 60s. You can see how that came into play quite a bit in the morning. We got another level right up here that we're trading right now. I'm not going to try that. And then obviously the high, or one of the highs from pre-market all the way up here. If I was looking to continue trading, this would be an interesting short level. This would be an interesting short level for these little quick back and forth movements. We pull back down to any of these levels. They could be breaks and retests, continuing the direction, but I'm not on the right side of this market this morning. Not at all. Not at all. Absolutely cooked. Very, very quick stop out on that one. So I'm gonna go hands off for right now. I'm gonna chill. See if we, you know what? I'm gonna leave this on. See if we can't frame out some trades. Maybe as we get closer to NYSE Open on NQ here, but I'm not gonna keep getting chopped up. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Yeah, but pulling these much bigger, just back and forth movements. So just jumping in short as we're drifting down would have been the play, rather than trying to long in here, long in here. Jumping in long anywhere in here, just as we're starting to push to the upside off of, you know, very, very low time frame candles would have been the play. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why did it disconnect me? Why did it disconnect me, chat? Ah, man. Hang tight, guys. Why? Super annoying, messing me up here. But, cooked off the open. Absolutely cooked off the open. Let's see, man. Why are we getting logged out? All right, back in again. Back in action here. I don't know what's up with that, kicking me out of Trade Evade. But back in action here again. Let's see. No reaction off of this level here. A lot of strength post-news. We got close to VWAP. Pretty clean retest down here. Not able to find my way in on the right side of this market this morning. That's for sure scalping. That's for sure scalping. Pushing pre-market highs to the upside here. Get rid of all of these little levels that I got marked up. Whoa. Can I do it nicely? There we go. Let's see what NQ's got for us the remainder of the morning. Let's see what she's got for us. Oh, man. Got sounds okay. Anyone else have Trade View make you connect every half hour to stay on Trade View? Yeah, I don't know what's up. There you go, right there. That was it for me, Pam. I don't know why it's kicking me off. Usually it just allows me to stay on indefinitely. NQ and ES both staying quite flat for the week. Morning, Zach and everyone. Good morning. When NQ moves like that, it ain't stopping. Yep. That's the 1 minute chart. I think NQ is quite a back and forth mover. Just not this morning for me. Drifting lower, then drifting higher. Going to reach back for VWAP though. I'm with you on the short thesis. Kept my law. Good morning. 10 a.m. existing home sales change. Okay. We got more stuff coming up. We got more stuff coming up. Yeah, 10 a.m. existing home sales. That looks like an yellow folder. Whoa. At least for what I look at here on Forex Factory. If I look at Financial Juice, just to take the quick look around. Ooh, Financial Juice has this one marked as red. That's interesting. That is interesting. So a couple different news sites here. Financial Juice is marking this one as, you know, higher impact than Forex Factory, which is my preferred. But we'll have to watch for 10 a.m. That's interesting after market open. Here we go. Pushing session highs to the upside, pushing the daily candle higher. Let's see what we're getting here on YM, since we did mark up YM. Similar movement. Take a look at ES. Similar movement. Choppy on these. Choppy but pushing higher now. These obviously liked the news. Blasting higher on NQ. Pushing the upside. We got some volume behind it as well. Obviously some momentum coming in after that news. Looking left on this chart. I don't know that I'm going to step in front of NQ much more today. Three might be enough for me. Pull back down towards VWAP without quite hitting it. And now pushing higher. If I had to take another trade up here, it would be a short, but I don't know that I want to fade these initial movements of NQ anymore. It's not paying me too nicely right now, so I'm going to be cautious doing it. If I had to mark a zone, right, that's about where it would be. Could go a little bit higher on something like that. Way up here, right, above these highs, coming out of this level of low volume would be the next spot that I'd be interested in. But I'm gonna sit tight on this for now. Gave it the old college try. No, gave it some scalping efforts in here for some quick movement, but not getting on the right side of it. Long twice in here, cooked. Short in here, or in here rather, cooked. Blasting higher. Let's see if we get any kind of sellers up here around the 25,400s that we are trading through right now. But I'm gonna go foot off the gas for a little bit. Well, let's see. Let's see what we get. Trade the 1 minute, 25,465-ish resistance. Okay, nice. Nice. We'll see what we get up there. About 45 minutes to NYSE Open. Be checking out, get logged into the Top 1 live account. Be checking out YM. Seeing what we can do on that bad boy. But I'm going to keep watching up here. Again, if I had to trade this, I'd be looking short. But I don't know that I want to step in front of this bad boy. I definitely don't right now. It's on a drive higher, on some momentum. Really just pushing higher on this one. I don't have too much on Bookmap screaming at me. We've really just been coming through levels. We haven't been bouncing off of anything. So, you know, when what I'm expecting to happen starts to not happen, I'll take L's like I have so far. And I'll also try to take my foot off the gas, just get a little bit better of a read of what's going on, and see if I can't get better aligned with these lower time frame movements. See what we get up here. Let's see what we get up here. This would be a little bit of a different thesis if we could get a little crack higher, trade through the 420s. This would be a, you know, maybe a little bit of a wider trade, kind of a reversion here before market open. Thesis that sellers try to put up a fight up here, not let this thing blast off much higher before market open, and we get a really nice reversion out of this. But it looks like we're trying to get that done right now. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got today. 5-minute, 15-minute candle close coming up. Yes, 8:45 a.m. is a 5-minute, 15-minute candle close. Usually we get a little bit of a kick there, right? A little bit of a kick there. I think that could be an interesting spot right in here. We see a little bit of a pull back. Again, I'm cautious, man, because I've been stepping in front of NQ a little bit on the lower time frames and getting cooked. So I'm interested to see what happens up here. I'm interested to see what happens around the 25 420s. This last bit of liquidity up here that we came into, found some sellers. We come and clear that out. There's not much above until we get way higher. I'd be curious to maybe try another aggressive short right in there. And that would present a little bit better of a risk to reward opportunity, because if I did take something like that, the target could come all the way down here. Could be a really nice crack to the downside style move. So I'm waiting to see if we get a little bit more of a pullback up, or if we're just going to turn on a dime here. Let's see. Let's see, chat. Let's see what she's got for me. Uh, 5-15 could do a violent flush down with right back up. Yeah, already hit my max trades today. Not looking so green today, but we'll continue to watch the market for an hour or two. Yeah. Listen, guys, if you're, you know, again, what I'm doing down here, I don't want to display on the lower time frames. I don't want to display, you know, crazy aggressive trading, because that's what this is. Limit your trades, know what you're looking at for a max loss, for a max amount of trades, you know, all that fun stuff. And don't overdo it. Definitely don't overdo it. Close my longs either way. Day's done. Nice. Done before market open. Can't complain about that. London session was so shit. Yeah, this is interesting, man. Kind of just a drift higher. Took off here on news. I mean, not such a bad movement here. This is kind of this bigger drifty back and forth movement. Just taking a look at pre-market from yesterday as a comparison. Nope, turns on a dime off of these highs up here. Looks like we're not trading the 20s. Staying patient now. Took a couple trades, took a couple L's. I'm gonna try not to absolutely smoke myself. Obviously not able to get on the right side of the market just yet, so I'm waiting to see what we do down here. I'm not getting a good feel for this, so not gonna push it too hard, but I'm gonna wait for my next setup to come and look to trade it, man. Let's see. We coming all the way back down, or are we going to find buyers after a little pullback and head back towards the high? Try to come back through and take out some of this up here. Let's see. Not much of a level to trade off of down here. Let's see, chat. Let's see. Getting some trades in. Getting some experience here trading off of the TradingView Trade-of-8 platform. Not making much money, but let's see if we can't turn that around. The day is still young. New York hasn't even opened up yet. Let's see, little pullback to prior highs, broken in an uptrend here. We got value area high. I'm interested really right in here. Here's our current value area high. I am curious to see what happens down around that level. All of these highs right here. I do think we could just come violently lower, man. This thing is just pulling this back and forth craziness. So, you know, I do want to take my trades as they come, but at a certain point, I do got to say, hey, you know, on the wrong side of the market a couple times, you're not even batting a 50-50, flipping a coin would do as good as you right now, and, you know, back off a little bit. But I'm curious around value area high, prior highs broken in this trend to the upside, still holding above VWAP. Sure, we can just come aggressively lower. Oftentimes, I think as we come into NYSE Open, we don't see the market like just ripping in one direction. We did have some news today, so that could be adding into maybe it does want to go and do that. But I'm curious to see if we come lower, what happens down here. Curious to see what happens down here. Chat. Chatty McChat. Chat. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As always, guys, appreciate you hopping on. Hanging out, trading some NYSE. Trading some pre-market here. Then we're going to trade some NYSE session. Take a look at YM. See what that's got for me in the live account. If you guys got trading questions, you got anything you want to yap about, feel free. We've been talking about prop firms a lot. We talk about the craziness going on with Top Step, the craziness going on with Project X. I feel like we've covered a lot over this past week, so I don't have too much more to come in with this morning. Jacked up on a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. I really did just want to focus up and get some trading in. Pre-market here on NQ, which I've done today. Painfully, but that's cool. I'm happy to show you what real trading looks like for me. Wins and losses. Sucks because I've cleaned up quite a bit this week off the live stream. I've been green on the live stream overall with you guys, taking some W's. Today, not so much. I really hate when I get days where I'm taking L's on a live stream and then I continue on and take take W's, but that is how it goes. I certainly have days where I hop on the live stream, look like a genius. I get off, continue trading, I absolutely smoke myself. I've done that quite a bit. I've shared that quite a bit. It's it's just the nature of probabilities, right? I don't know when we're gonna take wins, when we're gonna take losses, right? Random distribution of wins and losses. That's the Mark Douglas mindset. But could be pre-market. It could really just be pre-market where I've been pretty back and forth. I really haven't cleaned up too aggressively in pre-market. I'd say if I had to put anything for scalp and NQ that's been the best, it would be kind of midday, like 12 p.m. Eastern into 1 p.m. Eastern, maybe even a little bit later, kind of late NYSE session. I think it's an interesting balance between like really slow moving Asia, London pre-market sessions and really fast moving like New York session, like off the open on NQ, which can just be so aggressive. We often kind of get that choppy back and forth movement, and it's kind of what I'm playing for here on NQ rather than blast off in one direction or this big drifty movement that we have going on right now. So I'm going to continue to trade across a lot of different times during the day here on NQ on the low time frames, and then review. All right, if I have something that's working really, really well and something that's working really poorly, I will note that, right? Same way I've done on YM quite a bit. You might note, hey, during pre-market from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., you can't hit. You got trades that are just going against you. But you might find that later in the session, midday, for whatever reason, you got a really high win rate, right? You got stuff that's working out really, really nicely. So, but it takes a large sample size, right? It takes, it's not 1 or 2 days or 5 days even that says, oh, okay, well, now we only trade 1 p.m. Eastern, right? That's definitely not the way to do it. Got to go off a large sample size with this stuff. Let's see. Morning gang. I locked myself out till 9:30. I've not been enjoying the candles lately. Dug out of a hole 3 times on day 1 of my XFA yesterday. Negative 400. Morning. Yeah, Mike, I'm not enjoying these candles today either. At least so far. So, nothing wrong with locking yourself out for a while, taking a break. Just kind of, like I was saying, kind of going foot off the gas, at least for a minute, kind of giving yourself a second to reset, rather than just keep hammering trades, before you know it, you're like, hey, the last one wasn't a good one. The last 5 weren't good ones. Good morning, Big Frank. What's up? Paul Memphis, what's up? Hit the like button. Yeah, man, smash the like button, guys. Feel free to hit like, subscribe. You do whatever you want. I'll be here trading live. You want to hang out? You want to hop in the free community? You want to check all this fun stuff out? I appreciate it. If not, I still appreciate you. I go right through the combines with base hits, and then the XFAs I struggle to make $100. Every fill to close yesterday was red, even though seeing green, and I use hotkeys. Grand Rising fam, what's up? Mike, I feel you, man. I'm gonna try to give you the answer here, or at least my 2 cents. Watching this thing push right back up. Didn't quite test the level that I was looking for. Right off this high. Nice wick lower. Oof. Mike, here's my thoughts, man. Most people struggle with that, right? And sure, we're talking about being able to trade really well in evals, and maybe even on demo, and then when money's on the line in an XFA or in a live account, everything changes. Can't seem to win. There's the obvious, which could be that you're getting a random distribution and it's just lining up really poorly, right, in the XFA. That could certainly be the case, right, where you market's agreeing with you, you're executing well, and then you happen to get into the XFA and you take some losses, right? That will happen. That will certainly happen. But that's usually not the reason that that's happening, especially if it's happening consistently. It's the reason, that we know and we all struggle with, right? It's now that risk is on the line, we are not able to execute how we are when risk is not on the line. And it can be really frustrating. It can be really, really frustrating to be in that situation that you're in right now, that you're talking about. And I don't have the magic answer, but I think it could be powerful to recognize and say, hey, it's me. I could trade. I got this down. I'm able to manage risk. I have an edge. I can consistently get through, evaluations. I could trade on demo. I could stick to my system, my rules. I have a way to structure risk, all of these things, right? But then when risk is on the line, when I have the opportunity to take a payout, all of a sudden everything goes out the window. Why is that, right? The answer for the most part is execution, right? It's our lack of consistent execution. And I'll tell you this, it's not always something that's right in front of your face. There is a lot of subconscious, mental that comes into it, right? There is a skewing of our perception of market information and the actions that we're taking when risk is on the line. You're making a clean jump from an eval to a funded account, so there's really not much more you could put in between there that would kind of lower the risk for you and allow you to take it easy. So I would just say that in the XFA, the only thing you could do, or in a funded account, really the only thing you could do is to just lower risk even more, to just trade one micro with whatever size stop and take profit you need to keep it extremely low. And obviously that's not going to make much progress, but at very least you'll be able to say, like, I have next to no risk on the line. We're starting to sell off here. I'm really not worried about winning or losing this next trade. Let me see if that helps me out. Let me see if that helps my execution, helps me focus and just do what I'm doing in the evals, right? But past that, man, there is that challenge. It's that challenge of scaling, of first going from demo to an eval to funded, or demo to a live account, and then scaling up in evals, live accounts, funded accounts, copy trading your own live accounts with more risk. It's this never-ending challenge. And, there is a difference between being able to make money on demo and being able to make money with risk on the line, very, very small amount with one micro, and then being able to trade, multiple micros in multiple minis in a live account, or large size, positions in a funded account, right? It's that ability to scale up. It's that constant challenge that we have to face as traders. So I would try to make it as easy as you can, and then go from there. But it's not an easy answer, man. It's going to be trial by fire for a bit. But if you're trading with, if you could size down, right? That's always an easy attempt to allow yourself the time to trade through and just focus on executing well. If you can't size down, there's really not too much you could do outside of attempting to stay disciplined to your system, to focus on the charts in front of you and just remove the P&L as best you can. A couple other things you could do, just tricks, right? Stuff that helps as I'm yapping on it. Remove the P&L from your screen to the best of your abilities. You're saying XFA, so you're on Top Step, you're on Project X. Remove the P&L as best you can. Have the bar display ticks instead of dollar amount. Have the stop loss and take profit and everything just display ticks instead of dollar amount. Change the red and green P&L to a different color. You could do all of this. Put a post-it note over it and do the math yourself. That can also remove some of the emotions that may be affecting you, right? At a certain point, you are going to have to manage these, right? But shift the odds in your favor. And if you're not using that information for your trading, which most people are not, it's information you don't need, right? Think of a horse putting blinders on. You know, you don't need to see what's out in your peripheral vision. It's distracting you. You know, you're going to turn your head and lose focus. You don't need that information. Take it away. A lot of traders argue against that. There's many professional traders that do that. That block off the P&Ls with the screenshot, with a post-it note. Why wouldn't you? Make it easy. Take the easy route, right? So. Aggressively coming lower, coming into this level here, man. I don't like this as much. We pulled back up, retested. Now we're coming lower. I'm tempted to keep trading the same way that I've been trading. That's been working well for me here, guys. But I'm cautious because I've taken some L's here this morning. So if I had to take a trade, it would be a buy in here. Let's look at it. Again, I'm low risk in these accounts relative to what I usually do. Let's just take a look at what this would look like. Right off of this level, I'd be looking for a buy, sweeping some liquidity down here. But we are coming lower, right? We're drifting lower now. We got a little bit of a lower high, now a lower low. We're starting to trend back down to VWAP. I like the shorts up here. Didn't get it. I tried the longs in here. Obviously too early. Tried the short in here. That was just an absolute cook. This is off of current value area high. The highs in here. The highs in here right off of this, pre-market structure. If we're going to push higher into the open, I think this could be an interesting spot to do it. I also just think we could catch a little bit of reversion here. I'm going to wait to see if we trade down around these 70s, but this is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking at for trade number 4. Yeah, there's the reaction off of this level here. I'm gonna pull the wait and see. Let's see. I really wanted the 70s, right? I really wanted this level right down below this value area high, right into these highs right here, the 35 370s. But here's our nice little reaction off of value area high that we're getting here. Let's see what we get over here, guys. Oh man, Saki's yeah. More thinking when it's real, yeah. Morning, brother. Morning, Nate. What's happening? I was shorting all morning on NQ yesterday, plain as day, dumping, and I could not get an entry to run or close out a green trade with the slippage. Yeah, it was so annoying. Went down to the few micros. I feel you. Nate, fishing trip was awesome, man. Got an awesome fishing trip with my pops, man. It was great. CPI tomorrow, so I wonder if it'll be junky again today. Could be, man. Could be. Yeah. We do have news this week, right? We're kind of trading around some news. We got a holiday on Monday, so tomorrow leading into a 3-day weekend could be a little bit dicey. Finishing off this week could be a little bit dicey. This is annoying. This is what I was looking for in here. Of course, now I'm being a little bit more cautious. This would be playing out beautifully for my little 1-to-1. Even a little bit higher on something like this to trade to the outside. Not executing as aggressively as I should be now that I've taken a couple L's. I don't think there's anything wrong with taking your foot off the gas, but once you identify something pretty clean, You got to be ready to press it. 370s is really what I wanted. This is, you know, really what I wanted out of that little move to the downside. Something along those lines right there. So technically not really a mistrade, but I wanted value area high, which was right here until we printed some more candles. It's now up here where this take profit is. Wanted value area high and a little bit below that to the 370s. We had a little bit more liquidity down here as we were coming lower right into the 25 370s, but didn't quite get that. Got a little bit of a bounce for me now. Let's fix this back up. Not that I'm getting ready to take anything up here. We're chilling now. We're chilling. Oh. Some traders avoid pre-market and post-market. They trade only NYSE session, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Everyone has their time to trade. Pick your time. Yes. Yep. Many traders only trade NYSE session. Many only trade market open. Many trade only Asia, only London. Pre-market, right? Session changeover. All about finding what works for you. I'm looking to do that here on NQ. For YM, my bread and butter is NYSE session right into the open and really through the better part of the day. For NQ, I've really been trading around the clock on NQ and just attempting to find what I like best. Again, I won't repeat too much, but if you guys want to figure out what the hell I'm attempting to do here on NQ in sim accounts pretty damn aggressively, hop in Discord. I got like a 7-minute voice message. I posted a lot of goals from the beginning of the year. I posted some goals, you know, shifting a little bit what I'm working towards the beginning of this month. But if you want to hear more about that, feel free to hop in the Discord. I'll try not to go on big monologues here and yap and repeat myself over and over and over again. But yeah, different times of the day present different opportunities, different volatility. All about finding, you know, what works best for you, right? Some people trade different styles during different times of the day, different instruments during times of the day. Most people just trade, you know, whatever time of the day they want to trade. That's it. They give themselves a couple hours. I think that's very reasonable to do. Morning Omega, what's up? I was watching the data today. Saw 25,490 on Bookmap. I said it's going to march right up there. It did. I didn't take the trade. I'm scared by pre-markets. 25,390. Sorry. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Pre-market's interesting, man. Pre-market's interesting. I again, like, this is all subjective, right? So, like, you know, like what somebody calls trendy, somebody else is gonna call rangy, right? But for pre-market, this type of stuff doesn't bode too well with the way that I scalp NQ, right? Really aggressive, you know, like single direction movements. I'm not trading breakouts per se. Maybe I get in on a break and retest and I scalp in between. But when we get that like kind of just consecutive bar after consecutive bar, unless you're in it somehow early, you know, you catch it off the top or the bottom, it can be difficult for these little back and forth movements that I'm looking for on NQ. Now, you know, volume profiles kind of respected the same. But what has just seemed to work for me, what has seemed to work well for me, is into the like midday, right? Into the midday, you get kind of some of this, maybe it's just the volatility, right? Just this not slower moving, but not super duper fast like you get off the open, and not super duper slow. And you get kind of this, like, it will still drift, right? We'll still move in a different direction. But we get some of this stuff, and this bodes really well for me, right? This type of, like, you know, larger back and forth price action between 1-minute candles is kind of what I'm looking to exploit. This type of stuff right here could be a little bit difficult. But then again, you know, here's what we got at 12 into 1 o'clock, right? Some of this kind of back and forth movement where we're still moving in a certain direction here. But on the 1 minute, we get a little bit more of that back and forth movement. And again, maybe it's volatility, right? Maybe it's just the volatility that I'm able to, this could be a little bit tricky. Maybe it's just the volatility that I'm looking to leverage. But no, here we go. Here's into 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, right? It's a big back and forth movement. But we'll see. We will see. Pre-market's definitely interesting. All of the different times of the day to trade are, you know, they're unique. They're definitely unique. They're not all the same. There's certain ones that are closer to others, but they all present their, you know, unique movements. Right? Different algos get flipped on. Different traders are involved, right? Different countries wake up. You know, liquidity gets injected from different players, and that's all going to generate different movements in price, in volume, in any indicators that you use, really across the board. So it's about, I think it's about trading the same thing over and over again, right? Like, you know, if you're going to trade pre-market every day, trade pre-market every day. If you're going to trade NYSE Open every day, trade NYSE Open every day, right? Watch that chart play out over and over and over and over and over again. You know, the way that it responds to whatever tools you're using, your indicators, you know, your order flow, whatever it is, because it's going to look different. Like Bookmap looks completely different during NYSE session. It looks way different. It moves much different, much faster. Same with ES, same with YM. You know, much different on Bookmap, for example. Got some selling pressure, a little bit of a bounce right here. I'm not looking for this just yet. Here we go through the 70s. This is pretty aggressive. Looks like we might want to come all the way back down to this temporary volume point of control, maybe all the way back down to VWAP. Kind of what I was expecting. We often don't just rip right into NYSE Open. Sometimes we do. Was looking for a short somewhere up here off the 420s. Didn't get that. Got a couple L's coming into to NYSE Open here. Could have been trading more of a momentum here today, man. Really could have been focused on trading momentum, which is part of what I'm looking to do here. But usually we don't get that for pre-market. It's this choppier back and forth movement, which is what I'm looking to exploit. But we're not really getting that. Not really getting that. Anyway, guys, coming into NYSE, 9:15 a.m. Eastern. We got 15 minutes to the open. Gonna take a quick break. We've been streaming here for about 2 hours. Give me a quick second, guys. I will be back with you. Oh, there we go. Oh, I hid the... Oh, I don't think I muted myself anyway. There we go. We're back in action, guys. Getting ready for NYSE session open here, man. Let's see, man. Let's see what we could do today. Let's see what we could do today, man. Let's see what we could do, man. Choppy start off of pre-market here on NQ. I'm gonna watch this as we get closer, just drifting lower, man. Not really giving me the structure that I like to trade off of, or the reactions off of order flow that I like to see. I'm tempted in this thing long again, but you know, really wouldn't have paid me too nicely here. Maybe I would have caught the W on 40 ticks. Getting close to NYSE open. Around this prior value area high level. I think we could come right back up here and test this. Go ahead and change my row size on this, make it a little bit more granular. Yeah, give us a little bit tighter of a look here at value area high. Let's see. Why am I getting some ad? Appreciate you guys hopping on, man, as always. I know I repeat that a lot, but y'all are awesome. Y'all are awesome. Damn, man. I think I'm going to have to come for one more. I think I'm going to have to come for one more here. I like this long back to value area high. I just don't know if it's going to play out before market open, and running a trade into market open on NQ is a wild play, but I do like this long, man. Not to jump into something right after we came back in. 925. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get this to play out before market open, but that's what I'm looking at. Maybe if we weren't 4 minutes to NYSE open, I would take something like this. Trading back towards value area high after this pullback, level of structure up here, going to grab some liquidity that's up there around the 390s. But I'm not going to jump into this, guys. Unfortunately, I'm going to come off of NQ for right now. Let me go ahead and get my live account loaded up on my Top of Futures live account on TradingView. Hang tight, hang tight. Get ready to trade YM off the open with you guys. Let's run it, let's run it. If you're interested in checking out why can't I log in to get my username and password? If you're interested in checking out Top 1 Futures, my preferred prop firm, my prop firm of choice, some of the best deals on instant funded. There is the there's the code RDF gets you the best deal. All right, let's get it rolling. Let's get it rolling here. Let's get it rolling here, chat. Let's log in. All right. Now we are back in action. Get ready for NYSE Open. Let's get over to YM. Get over to the 15-minute chart. The bread and butter. Going to be looking at YM off the open here. Let me get this. Yeah, we're pretty good on what we had going on here for YM. Pretty close. Cool, cool. All right, awesome. Log back in. Again, this is the 15K top 1 futures live account, pre-live account that I got kicked over here on onto Tradeovate with. Let's see what we can do here. See what we can do here off the open. Best of luck, even though I don't like to say good luck to everybody. Hope you guys have an... What in the world? Siri talking to me? Hope you guys have a good trading session. Appreciate you being here with me for the open. Let's see what we can do, man. Let's see what we can do. Let's see. We got a bunch of people hopping on. Let me throw this in the main chat again. This way we get everybody. We get everybody on. Awesome, awesome. Full port the open. Wolf, there you are. What's up, dude? No, we don't want to do that, man. We don't want to do that. No full port in the open. We're gonna take it easy. Wolf, indices assemble. Andrew Baggs, afternoon. Dark Icon, what's up? What's up, Wolf, man? Marcy, what's going on? Rather avoid open. It's like a coin flip. Yeah, man. Sent you a DM to look at later. Sure, will do. Muted. Yeah, I think it was muted. Many find success in that short time slot. What were we talking about? As the market is getting ready to open up here, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Only trading between 9:46 and 11 a.m. Eastern this year with one setup. Been a game changer for me, honestly. Absolutely. It's awesome, man. It's awesome. Let's see. Pushing the upside here on YM. At least initially. Cracking pre-market highs. Again, if I was going to fade this, which I might, going to start to get interested up around this area here. You can see this area of high volume if we push higher, which I'm not sure that we do. All the way up near prior day high, Tuesday's high. Right now, we're opening up pretty balanced here. We don't have a naked volume point of control from yesterday. We tested that right into the open. Took off from there. I think this is a pretty key area down below price around the 200s, 50,200s here in YM. Curious to see where we go from here, though. Again, looking to fade that initial pop to the upside if we get it and it gives me a way to structure risk. Looking to buy a dip if it gives me a way to structure risk, if we're trading to and from a level. Take a look at ES's book map, YM's book map. This is order flow. For those of you that don't know what we're looking at here, this is an order flow software showing us live liquidity in the market. We can see where resting orders are above and below price. If you want to check this out, let me know and I'll hook you up. We'll hook it up. Yep, classic NQ all over the place, right into the open. Nice, nice. Yeah, this is an interesting spot right here. Big round psychological number, 50,500s, right into this this peak on the volume profiles from yesterday and visible range volume profile. We also got some liquidity there on YM. I think we could easily get through that and go and hit the 50s. But that's kind of an interesting spot to watch on the chart. But yeah, what's the thesis for today, right? Like what's the bias, man? That we just blast off? Is that the thought? That we really just blast off? I think we chop around up here. I think we got a really good chance of continuing this back and forth movement up here. We got more news coming out this week. We've had a pretty big movement out of YM. It could just be the leader and just continue to drive higher. But I don't know that we get that. Forming a bullish candle off the open without a big test of yesterday's low at all. Yeah, I don't mind this for the mean reversion play, but I'm gonna have to see what we get as we crack higher. Let's see. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, we could drive higher today. We could really drive higher today, and I could be looking short on this way too aggressively. I'm gonna look for the 550s, guys. I'm gonna look for the 550s for a short. Mean reversion style play, you know, fading the pop to the upside. I don't want to be too aggressive on this. We got liquidity up here. As we continue to push higher, I'm going to look for a potential short here towards the 550s. Oof, got close, man. Got really close. 520s. Just curious to see where these other guys are headed as well. ES looking like it's got a lot of liquidity up above. Oof. Oof, man. Nice rejection around those 500s. Yup. Yup. Not gonna be my day. I can see it. I can see it clearly. Not gonna be my day today. Taking a look around at all three US indices just to get a look at what's going on for you guys. Somewhat similar structure, cracking to the upside and then coming back down. YM looking the strongest out of these, pushing the upside much further. We hit the 500s, said that was an interesting spot. I wanted to see the 550s out of this. Being a little bit too patient, because now we have sold off very nicely to the downside. This looks like, yep, 127, 126 points to the downside right off the rip. That's the move that I'm looking for. Just not finding my way into it. Not quite getting the area that I wanted hit. Very close off the 500s. Again, I said interesting spot on the chart to watch. 550 started to look very, very good as we came higher. Right in here, right? Last kind of bit of liquidity up above price here on Bookmap. Looked like we wanted to try it, but that's all we had to do was trade to the... What do we trade to here? The 50,000 521s for a really clean reaction to the downside. Might not be my day today, chat. Might not be my day today. We ain't done. Far from it. I'm going to get back on NQ and scalp for NYSE Open. See what the track record looks like on NQ after we get through watching YM. But that was a gnarly rejection off of this level. You can look at the 1 minute just to see what this looks like here. Really aggressive push to the downside after finding a little bit of hesitation up there. Back down towards VWAP. Do I want this now off of this level? Probably not. Not if we come all the way back down and then push higher. I'm going to have to see what happens if we climb back up. Again, I'm still interested in the 550s. But this is going to be a dicey one now. Gonna be a dicey one, guys. I got some little chop scalps in and NQ. Nice. Oh, man. You guys are talking about some people that trade live. Aaron Trades. Yeah, Aaron Trades does. I don't know this other one. Good morning, sir. Good morning, all awesome. Maybe chop till 10 a.m. Maybe. Maybe. Pickpocket action. Take your money both ways. Yeah. Yeah, pickpocket action. That's actually funny. Yeah, I'm curious here. I'm always curious. I know I repeat that a lot, but I'm interested to see what happens up here if we push back up to the upside. That was a very nice entry point for this initial reaction. Now sold back off, coming back up. I don't like it as much, but you know, like, do we do this again? Is this all we're gonna do? Like, you know, I'm starting to get cautious that we just don't just revert, right? You know, I don't know that we just come right back down the way that we did yesterday, the way that we did the day before. You know, maybe we do start to take off here, push to the upside. We're holding VWAP. We pulled back down, got close. Now it's looking like we want to make a run for the hills. You know, I don't know here. And when I don't know, I try not to do anything crazy. NQ, tested VWAP, really clean test of that level there, right off the open. Look at that. Very, very, very nice. ES looking pretty bullish. We could be setting up for a, you know, an upside day. Could definitely be setting up for that. Let's see. Let's see, guys. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let me know what you guys think in chat. I'm curious. You think we're closing this day out green? You think we're closing out red? You think we are we're going to push to the upside on the U.S. indices, or do you think that we are going to come back down? We're going to get a correction today. Where's your bias at on this one? Always curious to hear the chat's thoughts on these. And your bag saying red. Okay. Thinking we're coming down on this. Let's see. Let me know what you guys think. I'm kind of unbiased here right now. I'm sitting here waiting patiently for maybe the 550s. I'm curious to see that. I would have loved for that to get hit, get in short, and already be out. So I'm going to have to see what happens as we come back up higher. Like I've been doing, I'm going to watch YM for a little bit here with you guys in the live account. And then go back over to NQ. Get scalpy on NQ. Went 0-3 off of the open for pre-market. Not off the open, but off of pre-market. Really not ideal price action to scalp, at least for me. We'll see what we get for NYSE. See if I can't set a record and go like 0-6 or something. I think we move higher, but shorts look much nicer. Hi, what's up? Let's see what the data says. Let's see. I'm happy if I get the right move on 20 seconds. I can't imagine daily. I hear that. I hear that. Yeah. Not wanting to drive higher, man. Not wanting to drive higher. This feels like we want to come all the way back down to this temporary volume point of control. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Opening up the 9:45 a.m. candle. We got the 15-minute opening range set on these bad boys. Not that that's something that I watch. Let's see where we go from here. Opening up green on YM. Do we pop right back to the highs? Do we sell off through VWAP here? Come back down towards the 340s, 330s? Retest this area of high volume in here. I'm gonna be interested all the way up here again. I don't know that I want it though. Again, it's not nearly as clean. I don't like the break retest and then take the short again. That's not really ideal. So I'm gonna have to see. We do have some 10 a.m. news coming up as well. I'm gonna watch this for another couple minutes and then pop over to NQ. Give myself a heart attack trading that for NYSE. Let's see. Let's see, chat. And as you guys know, we run giveaways here almost every day on the live streams. If you want a chance to win the giveaway that we may or may not be running later, nothing just yet, here is the link to the 100% free trading Discord. You guys can hop in there. If we drop a giveaway, maybe we will, maybe we won't. That's where it will be in the free Discord. No course, no VIP, no mentorship. I just show you what real trading looks like for me. Day in and day out, for free, live, the good, the bad, the wins, the 3 back-to-back scalp losses like this morning, all live for free 99. I enjoy doing that. There's a crazy stat on RTY for IB rejection by weekday on Thursdays. 24 single break out of the last 24 weeks. Ooh. Ooh. Get to take that one, Dwayne? NQ fell. Did it? Did she now? Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, it did fall. Beautiful test of this level right in here. And now we are heading lower, at least for now, dipping lower. Does that continue? Do we Do we blast to the downside now? Kinda looks like we want to continue this move lower. Let's see, or do we just dip and then come right back up, right? Hey, what the heck? What the helly? Yeah, waiting patiently for a setup on YM, man. And it's been a lot of this. It's been a lot of waiting patiently on YM. I meant to last week, but I missed it. On the other side of that, does that mean it's due for to fail? There, you can think about that stat both ways, Dwayne. Right? You can think about that both ways. I like to try to think about it in the way that makes sense. You know, if something's happening, it often continues to happen in the market, right? Trends tend to prevail. These statistics that play out more often than not tend to persist, right? Rather than the opposite happening. But you can definitely think about it both ways. Yeah, not looking like we want to continue to the upside, man. This got really close to giving me what I needed for the short today. Just not giving it to me, man. 153 points to the downside off of this NYSE high, right back to VWAP. Now we got decision-making point in here, right? Do we really want to come through? Do we want to sell off? Do we want to follow NQ and ES? Are we going to push right back up to that high off of VWAP, right? I'm sure we got a ton of buyers stepping in right here. Ooh, ES dipping lower aggressively. Aggressively lower. Oof, NQ as well. YM, man, what you got for me? What you got for me here, YM? Yeah, I don't mind the continuation short play, right? Like if we're gonna come through the high, we're gonna come through the high, right? We're gonna blast off through all-time highs. If we get a pop back up here, I might look at this short again. You know, I'm not trying to carry this bias. We've held VWAP. I think if we break, we come all the way down here. This could present a decent risk to reward opportunity for something like this, right? You know, I don't mind that, but all the way in here is not great. I obviously this would have been really clean. 550s would be really clean. If we come all the way back up through this high, could be a little dicey. Still would be before initial balance, but I really wouldn't mind something like that. I don't know if we do this again, man. Are we just gonna pull the exact same move day in and day out? Pop to the upside, sell off. Pop to the upside, sell off. Upside, sell off. Or are we gonna actually like find buyers off of VWAP and go? So far, this is nothing. So, I think I'm just gonna hop over to NQ, guys, and give myself a heart attack scalping. This is nothing. Again, no setup. 9:52. Got about 8 minutes to red folder news. I think I'm gonna start watching NQ. Let's go and set some alerts, right? Let's set some alerts right there. If we start to come to the upside above this 15-minute high, I want to know about it. I want to be able to hop back over here and take a look. If we come through the low, I want to know about it. Yeah, if we come through that low, I want to know about it. Yep. All right. We go ahead and get another account loaded back up. Get the NQ scalping accounts back up, aka the sim funded accounts. Evals, fundeds, but all in the sim environment. If I have to jump back over to the live account, I will try to do that quickly. But bear with me real quick. We'll display the little promo. If you want to check out Top 1 Futures, code RDF gets you 50% off. One of the best deals on instant funding in the industry, in my humble biased opinion. And I am biased. I stand to make money, so I can't be unbiased. Do your own research, make your own trading decisions. All right. Alrighty then, chat. We're going to be on MNQ now that market's opened up. Let's get over to MNQ, see what we got going on. Dipping lower. Let's get back on the 1 minute. Give ourselves a little heart attack. Just marking out current value area high, current value area low. I'm going to mark out the low of the day so far and the high of the day, which I can't see too clearly on the 1 minute chart. Getting set up, getting ready to roll. Like I said, if we came lower, I think I was marking off this level down here. If we started to come lower, I think we're easily coming down here. Let's see. Let's measure out some let's measure out how we'd like to be positioned here. Continuing lower pretty aggressively here on NQ. Watching for us to come around these pre-market lows. We got some liquidity down here at the 200s. Not surprisingly, we got quite a bit down there. That could be interesting. It looks like we want to break. We're breaking this low right now. Looks like we want to potentially break this to the downside and go grab that. Maybe we pull back up really aggressively, fake everybody out the way that NQ likes to do, but it doesn't feel like it. Looks like we are through VWAP and pushing lower here, man. I'd be, at this point, a little surprised if we didn't come down to check out this pre-market low, check out these 200s. What happens, as we're doing right now, what happens when we get down here is going to be the big question. Do we blast right through? Do we fill that liquidity, find some buyers, and pull back up? Again, trading level to level, volume profile, high volume nodes to high volume nodes, right? Area of interest to area of interest. I'm curious to see about this 200s, man. Get ready to take some scalpy trades here on NQ. Again, different than what I do on YM. Lower risk, higher frequency. Looking to trade some more momentum, build a little bit more of an edge here. Let's see. We do have news coming up, 10 a.m. So maybe we don't do anything until 10 a.m. It's 9:58 right now. Yeah, 9:58 a.m. guys. Be cautious. We do have 10 a.m. news. I don't know. 8:30 was a nothing burger. Let's see what 10 a.m. brings us. Could be a whole lot of nothing. We'll have to check this one out together. Trading right down towards this 225-200 level. Do we fill this before news? If not, I think that's like that's a really easy one. That's a really easy trade right there. I'm not gonna look to take anything like that because it's just really aggressive. But there we go. Seller's gonna gobble those orders up. Declining cumulative volume delta. Ooh, yeah, right through pretty aggressively here. Maybe right towards that next level, the 187.5s. Oof, man. Just continuing to move to the downside. About 30 seconds to some red folder news. Again, I'm not going to do anything too crazy here, guys. We're going to let this one pass and then see what we get coming into the 10 a.m. time frame. Let's see if this is a nothing burger also, because the last one was a whole lot of nothing. Here we go. We're moving. We're moving. Oof. Oof. Market doesn't like it. At least initially. Let's see. 2-minute warning, existing home sales. Yes. I use RSI, really just chop, 10-second trade, long bias. Cool. But last week, but I missed what's... Oh, yeah. We were looking at that. We were looking at that already. Crack it back up to the upside here. Finding some buyers here on NQ. About 2 minutes past that existing home sales news that just dropped. Taking a look at ATR down here, being twitchy with the measurement tool. Just getting a feel for how we're moving here today on NQ. Pretty nice pullback out of this bad boy. YM not selling off. Watching this down below VWAP, pretty aggressive selling pressure right into the open. We're finding buyers down here, not a whole ton, getting a little bit of a pullback. Do we pull back up and then continue lower? Do we blast right back through the highs and start to form this into a bullish day? I don't know that we sell off here. I'm waiting to see if we get a little bit of a dip back down. 30-40 points lower. What happens if we just blast off from here? It's turning on a dime right back to VWAP. I'm waiting to see if we get a dip back down. Just taking a look at ES with a lot of liquidity up above. Looks like we want these 25s. Do we bounce off these 25s here? Push it back down. Let's see. Not much down below price right here. Buyers want to try to step back in. That is not a lot of room to work with at all. Watching this thing closely, it's very fast moving, so I don't mean to get quiet as I'm kind of honing in and watching this. This looks like we want to try off of this pre-market level. Quite a bit of liquidity up above that we're coming into. I definitely don't want to fade the move to the downside too aggressively, which you could argue that's exactly what I'm doing. We did get this aggressive push down, but we have started to stop on a dime here. I think we either break to the downside really aggressively and we just rip lower, in which case we trade through this level down here where a stop would be, or we find buyers like we're doing right now and blast to the upside. I'm just not going to be fast enough on this. It's probably just going to be a little bit of a lack of confidence after taking some L's off of the pre-market session. But that looked pretty good. That looked pretty good. Right as we came back in here, filled some liquidity to the downside, popped this right here, right? Started to drift back up. Sell orders come above. We fill that. We continue higher. That looked pretty good for a quick pop back up. But let's see what we get down here. I'm not doing anything just yet. Let's see. Almost got the gap to fill on SPX. Nice. Let's see. Ooh, YM came back down. ES trying to figure out which way it wants to go. Order card back up. Oh, we're back on NQ. Now I see what we got going on. Hang on. Let's see, pushing lower here, man. Do we just sell off? Do we really just sell off, come down through this level here and crack to the downside? Do we catch a little bit of a reversion here? So far, we're really just eating up orders both directions. This is still looking weak, declining cumulative volume delta here. Curious to see what happens down around these 150s, but I don't know that I want to step in front of this. I stepped in front of it a bit. For pre-market, obviously just smashing the short button on the way down, trading some of this momentum would have paid pretty nicely here so far. I'm going to watch this next area that I have marked on my chart. Maybe the 5-minute gives me a little bit better reference. This is definitely not that scalpy when I'm zoomed out. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't want to do that. But I'm taking a look to see where I have this level marked out from. Yeah, I think we could dip all the way down in here, so this would be a little bit dicey to try to catch this on the way down. I think we could potentially find buyers right here the way we are, and so I'm creating a little bit of a new thesis. If we just are gonna sell off, we're gonna sell off. I'm already wrong. If we find buyers, man, I think we need to do it pretty damn quick right here. Got some liquidity up above. I do like that for some targets. Ooh, we got some liquidity getting pulled there. That's interesting. Oh, seller still pushing this thing lower, at least for now. Trying to come down and break this low. I like this for a quick test back up around value area low. But I'd be entering pretty damn aggressively down here. Trying to find some scalpy trades, chat. Trying to find some scalpy trades. I'm not loving just selling off this low for breaks lower, although it would have paid a little bit today. I'm curious to see what happens as we come down around this next area of interest I have marked. Just actually down around these lows, honestly. I'm trying this one. That was an ugly fill. I'm trying this one long from down here, guys. I'm looking for a reversion back up here. That was a god-awful fill. I had to click the buy button twice. The actual fill should have been all the way down here. That was not by way of the platform, but just by way of me not clicking on this, clicking on bookmap, and then clicking to the upside. Clicking over here to click buy. Let's see, 250s to the upside. Yeah, I like this for a little crack above these highs. Taking out some liquidity. You know, counter to this initial movement to the downside here, I'm looking at buyers stepping in here. We're kind of falling off on this immediate crack lower. I think we could have a really aggressive clean out move, but I'm going to try this one to the upside. I wanted to buy right into that strength as we started to crack higher right there. It was just late to the gun. This is what this should have looked like. That's kind of frustrating, but this is what they should have looked like. That should be my entry, and that should be my stop and my take profit. Let's see. Get some scalpy trades in here on NQ. Again, trading aggressively on NQ. Much tighter take profit, tighter stop losses. Mostly fixed take profit and stop losses. Sometimes one-to-one, sometimes negative risk to reward, sometimes positive risk to reward. This one happens to be a positive risk to reward. Just depends on what I'm looking at structure-wise, right? You know, I'm looking for a crack all the way back here above the 250s through this level of liquidity if we can go and get it. I had a trash fill on that one. I liked my stop loss down below this level, where if we wicked lower, I would have probably survived some of this. I'm tempted to adjust my take profit and stop loss to where they should be had I been filled when I wanted to enter the market, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'll just manage the trade as I see fit. But let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. Oh, boy. Let's see what the market's got for me. Let's go trading towards these 250s. We're going to break some highs here. We're going to come right back down through these lows, rip my face off. That is the question, chat. That is the question. Sorry, I don't mean to make you guys dizzy playing with Bookmap over here, but it's so zoomed in over on the side that it's sometimes hard to see where we've got some liquidity above and below price. Let's see what we can do, chat. Chatty McChat, chat. Here we go. We're gonna try these 250s. I'm cautious of holding all the way through to where my take profit is. I'm holding for a break through a level of liquidity here, but I would like to see it. I would like to see a nice crack to the upside. Came all the way up to these highs, finding some sellers. I'm hanging on to this one for right now. In fact, I'm going to let this one rip. I'll be right back, guys. Chair's going to trade for me. See if he can't catch a take profit. All right, how did Chair do? Chair, we're back to break even here, man. What are you doing? What are you doing, Chair? Yuck. Yuck, 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 guys. Yuck. Wanted that initial reaction to the upside. I'm going to hang on to this one at least for now. This would have been pretty nice if we got this full push through. If we come all the way back up around these highs, I'm going to go stop loss to break even. By dragging stop loss up right here behind this candle. It's a little bit quick to do it here. I want to give this thing the time to breathe and not stop myself out at break even right off the bat. I still think we do have a good chance of coming up here to crack these highs, coming into this next area of volume, even if we're going to continue lower. We got some chop. Obviously, buyers putting up a fight down here. Let's see what we can do. Watching Bookmap like a hawk as I'm trading NQ here because I am using it in my trading decisions. So it's really interesting to watch. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Let's see. Can we make a drive higher here? What do you got for me today, NQ? Straight pain? Is that it? It's kind of what it's looking like. Kind of what she's looking like today. Nope, not wanting to go up there and grab those 250s just yet. Dancing around this level. Interesting spot. I am glad that I at least marked off a level. I'm going to set the bar really low for myself. That I at least marked off a level that I found interesting that I wanted to get involved at. Pulled back up to it. We're testing it multiple times. We broke above. You know, this is looking like trash as we come back down through this this entry here. Really nice reaction. Showed me quite a bit of profit. Just not enough to grab it on this one, man. Just not enough to grab it on this one. Didn't sweep prior bar high on the 15-minute. Tested lows here. YM coming back down. Trading below VWAP. Trading towards current volume point of control. Let's see ES. ES down around the lows. Trying to figure out if she wants to break to the downside. She can't figure out which way that she wants to go either. MNQ. Teasing me, teasing me, teasing me. There we go. Jeez. Thank you. Thank you, chat. We got to take profit here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We got to take profit. We got to take profit on that one. Very nice. Very nice. 250 ticks to the upside filled on that one. Clean. Clean, clean, clean. On 5 micros. About time, man. Honestly, like, I'll take 3 or 4 in a row scalping like that if I have to. But man, you go 0-4 scalping right off the rip. It's really hard to continue on. It's really difficult to continue on. So also more in the belt for pre-market just not paying me nicely, and then into NYSE paying me. So, nice profit on that one. Can't complain. 250 times. I can log back into to Tradeovate. What do we put up? 625. Back to about break even in this account. After 3 smaller L's and then now 1 larger win on a positive risk reward trade there, giving me some profit back. Let's see what we get from here now. Let's see what we get from here. Nice take profit, man. I can't complain about that one. I definitely can't complain about that one. We wicked right up there. We got through the 250s, right? Got through the 250s, and what do? Which we often do. We overshot by a bit here. Overshot by a bit. Clean. Clean, clean, clean. Got that one by the skin of my teeth. Let's see. We ain't done yet, chat. Now we're hitting trades. Now we're ready to make some money. Now let's see, man. This is kind of choppy down here. Really choppy down here. Let's see if we want to break to the downside or if we're actually going to continue right back up towards VWAP. Let's take a look and see. Nice trade. Yeah, Delta's looking very choppy on ES. Chop day, in my opinion. Waiting for CPI tomorrow. Yeah, I could definitely see that. They figured that out. I heard Chair call someone while you were away. Hope you changed your previous chair, which was colluding with the market makers. No, this is the market maker chair. This is the market maker chair. Yeah, still in a sideways area. Awesome. What's going on? What's going on, Jess, on Kick? Appreciate you guys hopping on. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. This is kind of interesting. I'm gonna stay on NQ. Obviously, yeah, I'm gonna stay on NQ here on the 1 minute. I'm gonna try not to get too distracted going back and forth with YM. You know, I got some alerts set. I don't see a trade coming on YM right now, so I'm just gonna stay focused, watch price action, watch order flow, see if I can't get a good read and find another trade. This right now is pretty choppy. Again, I don't mind this back and forth action for the way that I scalp here. The more that we do this after a large move, the more cautious I am that we start to kind of just extend and do what we just did, right? Where we start just breaking like crazy all over the place, and you know, we don't really continue, where we come all the way back up, and then what do we do? Sweep the low. And then everyone goes, okay, time to jump in short, and then what do? Come back up, sweep the high. And then everybody goes, okay, time to jump in long, back to VWAP, and then what do? Right back down, right? So, you know, I'm cautious that we could do this for a little bit down here and pull these really difficult to manage moves. So, you can trade within this for sure, but I don't want to be too much of a maniac here. What I will mark out is our initial balance high and low. That's getting ready to get set here, because this is, in my humble biased opinion, helpful across instruments to at least know where the hell it is, and if and when we break it. Okay, a couple levels in the chart coming off of the current volume profile, which I could go ahead and adjust right now. This was we got our temporary volume point of control right here. We got value area high up here. We got current value area low right down here. This was an interesting level, coming off of some lows from pre-market, right? These were our pre-market lows. I'll leave that bad boy. You know what? Let's change these to a different color so we know what they are. I don't like to go with anything too crazy. Let's go with like light blue for value area low and current value area low and current value area high. And then we got some white levels for the rest of it, and then initial balance high and low can be purple. I think we wick lower. I think we wick lower off of this value area low that we're struggling to get above. I don't think that presents a fantastic opportunity, because it wouldn't be something really that I'd be wanting to hold for a long period. But I think we're either coming right back to VWAP, or we're gonna fake everybody out right here, put some higher lows in, and then wick lower. But I'm not gonna take this, at least just yet. I think it's just a little bit aggressive, but I don't think this is a bad trade. Actually frame this out. Could get a little bit tighter on this one. $262. Yeah, we come back above this. I think we go to VWAP. Yeah, this is gonna be it playing out right now. Yeah, this is gonna be it playing out right now. Not quick enough. Not quick enough. Here's the trade idea. Just not quick enough. I think we come back down around these lows. Kind of just playing within this range, right? You know, it gives me a way to be wrong. I don't often get that when I'm scalping like this. You know, if we come back above this, we trade through the 62s. I don't think that we just wick above like we did right here for my take profit on the long. I think we come back to VWAP, right? So, you know, you could actually run this like really tight, you know, as we come back up here to the top end of this range, find some sellers, and then generate a nice positive risk reward if you wanted to on something like this. Let's see how this one would have played out. I think that'd be an interesting take profit spot. If I had to be in a trade, that's what I would be in right now. If we crack higher, I think we're coming right here. And you can take the complete opposite side of this trade, which would just be right back to VWAP, which does present a nice risk reward opportunity. You don't survive much of a wick down here unless you go stop loss all the way outside of IB low, which has now formed since it is 10:30. Let's see. Looks like we're going to go for VWAP. So again, not taking this one. Obviously, you would see me in the trade, and maybe for good reason. Just don't have enough confidence in it. Not a bad trade. If we push higher, I think we're going to VWAP. If we, you know, are going to come back down, I think the middle ground of this range presents a really nice risk reward opportunity. Ooh, I like it even more now. Oh, excuse me. I like it even more right now. There it is. There it is. There she blows. Not fast enough on that one, and not enough confidence to take it. Let's see. But that's why we're here, right? That's why we're here. Getting better every day. Better every damn day. I know I've been talking a lot about Bookmap. If you guys want to check out Bookmap, this is a tool that I am using pretty heavily here as I am scalping away on NQ. Here is the link to Bookmap. No code needed. You want to check it out. That gives you the absolute best deal available right now. Bookmap is an order flow tool for those of you guys that don't know what the hell this is over here on the left-hand side. It's an order flow tool that gives us live liquidity in the market. There you go. There's the trade. Damn it. Yeah, not fast enough. Not enough confidence. Whatever you know, combination or excuse I want to make for not taking a trade, but that was looking really good. Looking really good. Not fast enough. Just not willing to put risk on for that one. That's a missed one. That's a missed one scalping like this. Beautiful, again, beautiful fake out where we're just kind of pushing higher. Either we're going to go back to VWAP right away, or we're going to come down and do this. Oh, we're going to come down and do this. Take out lows, right? Even that would be a pretty clean spot to target some, you know, potential stops right down here, or even a really nice clean break all the way down to the lows. But not for me. Anyway, if you want to check out Bookmap, it's pretty sweet. If you use liquidity in your trading, I think you got to be a fool not to be using some form of order flow, maybe something else besides Bookmap. I'm partnered and affiliated with Bookmap. I stand to make money. I can't be unbiased. Do your own research, make your own decisions, but if you use liquidity in your trading, which you don't have to, you probably want to use a tool that shows you where liquidity is, at least passive orders resting above and below price. That's what we're looking at here. You cannot physically see this on a candlestick chart. Whether or not this is helpful to you, whether or not you want to trade with it, that's up to you. You got to decide that for yourself, just like everything else, all the other tools you could possibly use. But it's definitely interesting to watch. And I do find it very helpful here scalping on the low time frames for sure. I found it very, very helpful on ES as well. YM, I said this a lot. I just don't use it as much. Just never found a real good groove with it on YM. I don't know why that is, but just didn't. YM breaking. YM breaking. Giveaway's finished, bro. Bro, get us a giveaway. Yeah. You listen to Purple Ninja. I'm long NQ 25211 entry. Nice. We'll see if that pays you. Couple down at this drawdown right now. What a range. I agree. I'm a maniac. Yeah. Is there not commercials on Kick? No, there's no commercials on Kick. I'm streaming to 3 places right now. Sometimes I stream to 4 places. YouTube, Kick, and X. Just the differences between all of them. Real quick, if you guys are hanging out. Kick is the lowest latency with no commercials. No ads at all. And it's objectively the lowest latency. YouTube, you get really high quality, a little bit more latency. You do get ads. I'm monetized on YouTube. I let them run ads. Cracking to the downside here. X, if you're watching from Twitter, you probably want to come over to one of the other ones. I don't want to say anything negative about any of the platforms, but X Livestream has a gnarly lag. You're way behind the live. It's just, you could go as lowest latency as you want, fastest internet, but there's a big lag. There's a delay on X. Big break to the downside, breaking IB, or not a big break to the downside, but a break to the downside, breaking IB low here on the 1 minute. Cracking lower, man. Is this gonna be the break and run? All the way down to this next level, next area of interest. Let me go ahead and zoom out a little bit. And if we start to go lower, try to figure out where the heck we might go, or at least where we might find some buyers next level to get to quickly here. Yeah, I think right in here. Based on price action and market structure. Look at the 4 hour. Yeah. We don't even need the 4 hour to mark some mean levels. Oof, it's looking interesting, guys. Buyers off this low where we have a failed auction to come right back in, or we dump. Decision-making time for these markets. This is looking hella weak, at least for right now. I think we either one of two things off this low. Great opportunity for longs or shorts. Either, cheap trade on the long side, you're going to run it back to VWAP. You say, nope, we're going to chop up here. Or we're getting ready to move to this next level down here. We're going to check out yesterday's low. Maybe 100 points lower, 400 ticks lower. It gun to my head short if I had to now at this point. This was my trade. Like I said, not moving fast enough in a short right up here. We'll have to see. On Kick, are you under the same name? Yes. Real Deal Zach on Kick. Did you took trade today? Yeah. Like a half a dozen, my brother. Scroll back like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You'll watch me take a W. If you go back all the way to pre-market, because I've been on here for like 3 hours, I took some pre-market scalps. Let's see what we get here. Breaking lower, breaking lower. Ugh. Man, TradingView has such a gnarly lag on it. Such a lag on it, man. Yeah, something I'm going to start to try to challenge myself to do. Part of the reason that I'm over here on NQ, talked about metals this year. I'd like to get a feel for trading momentum. Trading directionally in strong trending markets. Markets that are breaking up to the upside or breaking out to the downside. And I, like most traders, find some resistance doing that. I always find that it's difficult to sell off the lows. It's difficult to buy off the highs, right? But on low time frames, it can be very effective, right? You know, we start coming down through here really aggressively. You could start selling into that momentum really, really aggressively, right? Where you say, hey, I sell here, and then we come down here, we break this low. I'm shorting again on the way down here. You know, looking for some really, really aggressive profits, adding into positions, controlling risk. There's a lot you could do with this, and I'd like to get back to some of that on the low time frames here on NQ. It's just not my strong suit, but it's definitely something I would like to challenge myself to do, right? When we start to get a move like this really aggressively to the downside, you know, all you got to do is smash the sell button, right? Oftentimes, sometimes we reverse, sometimes we come right back up. Obviously, this would have been beautiful. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Doesn't get you paid. I do find myself more of a entering off of a level aggressively counter to the immediate price movement. But I would love to find my way into momentum. Something I'm going to try to challenge myself to do. But right now, I'm looking at doing the exact opposite. I'm looking at us fill these 87s. I'm curious to see if we catch a little bit of a bounce right here on a really, really, really cheap trade that I would consider. Yeah, I'm not going to mess with this just yet. Let's see. 225.070-ish pivot. Okay. I think 6936 is a reversal on ES. Seems to be going for yesterday's low. Yeah, where's yesterday's low? Yep. Yep, we can just move this level to yesterday's low. That's fine. Don't need to be that exact. Yesterday's low. There we go. Coming into these 85s. Let's see. Let's see. How much else down there, man? wick lower and flipped right off the rip. Let's see, chat. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Nah, we're just eating up liquidity to the downside, and we got more. I'm not going to try this. If I had to take a trade real quick, it'd be a long. It'd be a scalp off of that bookmap level, right back up above these highs. Could be a very, very cheap trade. I'm not going to step in front of this right now. We're still pushing lower. We're eating up liquidity to the downside. I don't know that I want to try this. I think there's a good chance we come right through these lows. If I had to take one, it would be a quick scalp right back up here. Stop loss right down, right down below the lows. This is just aggressive. This is really aggressive to the downside. Oof. There we go, catching some buyers. Bookmap working. Bookmap bookmapping. Bookmap doing its thing. Little bit of buyers off of that one, chat. Big surprise. When you come into a bunch of resting buy orders, sometimes you bounce a little bit. This one is just too aggressive for me to fade. I don't know that I want to fade that at all. I really want to find my way in short to trade into some of that momentum. Let's see. I don't like these moves. They always come in when I'm not looking. That's why I made strat for chop chop. Awesome. Yeah, a little scalpy upside play. Moving. Yeah, I'm reading the market okay, but I'm just not moving fast enough. Just not moving fast enough. Oh, man. Hey, sir. What's up? What's up, Jay? Oh, what's going on, guys? How we doing, chat? How we feeling? What do you guys think? You selling into this? You guys selling for the dump today, or are you like buying for a reversal? Where's your head at on this? We've sold off so far, broken IB low. We are forming this move to the downside. You fading this, or what's the vibe here? What's the chat bias? You guys looking for this to continue the downside, to come maybe outside of yesterday's low, push lower, maybe down around all these lows down here? This is the daily chart. You looking for us to pull back up on this, head back towards VWAP? Where's your head at? I'm interested to hear. What are you guys thinking on this? What you thinking on this? Yeah, we broke IB low to the downside. Let's take a look at Edgeful, man. If you guys don't take a look at what that stat looks like, we got a strong stat. A strong stat. We've got 80% of the days over the last 6 months of data. If we break one side of the initial balance on NQ, we do not come back to break the other side. It's even stronger than YM. Even stronger than YM. Let's take a look at NQ. 2 years, yeah, 77.5% of the time. If we break this level that I have marked on my chart, which we did to the downside, we do not come back up and break the other side. You know, is that enough to trade off of in its by itself? No, but it can definitely give you some bias for the day. Another one that's pretty interesting: opening candle continuation. Over the last, let's look at like 6 months first. Oof, 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 oof. Yeah, over the last 6 months, if we open up red, 77% of the days we have closed the day red. First 1 hour opening candle. If we open up green, almost 80% of the time we close the day green. It can give you some reason for caution shooting for a candle to flip bearish or bullish, right? If we've opened up for the first 1 hour in one direction, right? So, you know, what this is telling us is we're past the first 1 hour, short bias, because we've opened up with the first 1 hour opening candle red. 77% of the days, we've finished the entire day red, right? So if you're now longing down here, targeting a move completely back to the upside to flip this, you know, into a bullish candle, you know, you're shooting for something that happens infrequently, very infrequently. So if you guys want to check out Edgeful, this is it. 20% off with code RDF and link in the chat once I find it right here. Shout out Edgeful. Those guys are awesome. Something going on with Kick, not connecting. There you go, guys. There you go, chat. If you guys want to check out Edgeful, link is in the chat. Oh, no code. I'm sorry. Sorry, I said code RDF, no code. Oh, long bias, first couple scalps. Nice, nice. I sold off. I was asking you guys what you guys thought. Sold off 25,345 on NQ, holding on. I might close soon. VIX rising, indexes drip. Nice, nice. Session continuation. Okay, you were looking for the downside. All right, NQ Lee, all caps. Yo, Zach, how much do I need to make this year to meet up? I don't know what you're asking. To meet up with me? You can meet me not making anything this year in Tampa. You can meet me in a whole bunch of different spots because I'm going to a whole bunch of different in-person events this year. So you don't need to make anything to meet up with me. You can come to Tampa. Well, I guess technically you would need to make enough to buy a ticket to one of the events that I'm going to, whether or not I'm part of it or not. But you can come to Tampa in May, where I will be at the ASFX in-person boot camp. I'm a guest speaker over there. It's Austin Silver's show. You want to come and say what's up? I'll be out there for multiple days, along with 100 other traders and along with like 10 guest speakers, including Austin Silver's entire team. Brian Shannon and a whole bunch of other heavy hitters. The godfather of VWAP will be out there in Tampa this year. So yeah, you can come and say what's up there. Yeah, man. Here, look, I'll show. Let me get the link for that, bro. Let me get the thing here. Hold on 1 second. You want to come and say what's up? Here's where to come and say what's up. Right here. Right here. Whoa, that's really small. I didn't know you could do that. Hold on 1 second. You could put an image on a trading view chart. Boom. May 14th and 15th, since you asked so kindly. You want to check it out? I will be at the in-person event in Tampa with all the rest of these traders and Brian Shannon, who's not on this picture. who is arguably the people that one of the biggest people person that's going out there. It's a 2-day event. It is a paid deal. It's not my paid deal, but it's always important to note that. I will be at other in-person events this year as a guest, either paying to go myself or just, going to other in-person events. So, yeah, man. Feel free to check that out. I think they have like 10 tickets left. So if you are considering going to one of the baddest in-person events for the futures market specifically, in my humble opinion, they just had a sick one down in Miami. So that looked awesome also. But yeah, if you're looking to go to one, they got like 10 tickets left to this. They keep it pretty small. It is an in-person kind of coordinated deal, so they do have to control it. But yeah, if you want to head out to that one, man, I'll be there. Be there for 2 days. It's epic. As we come down and crack yesterday's low. Everybody talking strategy, tools they use, trading prop firms, psychology, mindset, journaling, right? And not just everybody lecturing, right? It's really super interactive. There's panels, open format for like questions, super interactive. I think it's awesome for a whole bunch of different skill sets depending on where you are in your journey, from beginners to advanced. There was so many different people there last year. It was heavy hitters that were there in the audience. It was dudes trading big size live accounts, putting up 5-figure days, who were like just hanging out there, who were not speaking. So it's a pretty cool event, man. Along with that, we have a bunch of fun. Hang out there, do dinners and stuff, do the casino, all that fun stuff. So it's a good time, man. It's a really awesome experience to get around in person your people, right? Like 98% of what we do, obviously, as traders, is behind a screen by ourselves in a room. It's very isolating. Almost no other profession has this level of isolation where you are not physically around anybody, right? Getting to in-person events, in my opinion, for anything that you're doing is really important. Really important. Which is why I'm going to try to not miss any more of the in-person events this year. Because I already missed one that I would have liked to have found my way over to. I just had too much going on. So watching this thing crack yesterday's low, I'm tempted on the really aggressive long, man. I think it's a crazy move to pull down here. I might look for a little sweep lower to try something crazy. This thing is looking really weak. 25,000 evens coming up next. Let's see. Let's see, chat. Cool, no problem. Let's go. Absolutely, man. Hope to see you out there. Does anyone have any issues right now? You go silent, but sorry guys. I don't know if I'm having stream issues. I had issues before. Dead cat bounce. Let's go. Digital nukes let it stay down. Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like it just wants to go. Looks like it wants to continue. Isn't that a crazy thought to make 5 figures off a laptop while attending a conference? There's no game that can match that day trading. So grateful for this. Yeah, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy how much money can be made or lost very, very quickly in this game. There's very little that can match that for sure. But you could also lose 5 figures off the laptop. So that high risk, high reward is so real. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I always say that. Yeah, the opportunity and the risk is, it's not always symmetrical, but they're both, constants, right? There's no opportunity without risk, right? And you have to accept that in the trading world and pretty much everything else. But man, this thing is just dripping lower. Just continuing to drip lower. Big level of liquidity here at the 25,000 evens. I'm really tempted. I'm really tempted because I think it would be kind of silly of the market if we just blasted through that without at least trying to catch some buyers at or above. I'm tempted on a long. I think it would be kind of crazy. 11 a.m. coming up right here. I think I might have to see what happens down here, guys. It's a very bold play, but I'm a bold guy. Now, you know what they say. There's a lot of old traders. There's a lot of bold traders, but there's not a lot of old, bold traders. So there's something to be said for that. Watching us hammer into this right now. Ooh, not getting through. At least not yet. Ooh, they pulled it. They pulled it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Orders off the book. Liquidity getting pulled. See what this looks like. Through the 25,000 evens. We're going to put up a fight, or we're going to go trade 25 points lower? Yeah, I'm not going to play with this, guys. I'm not going to mess with this. It's way too aggressive to be buying into this. I think we could bounce here. It's a big round psychological number, but I'm not going to scalp this. It's not my... It's really not exactly what I want, so I'm not going to give back some profit that I just made on the last trade. I'm not going to play with this. If I had to take a trade, it'd be a bounce right back up here. I think we get it. I'm not having a bad read of the market. There we go. There's the bounce. I'm not going to mess with this, though. You know, when I look back on days like this, where I'm longing the market repeatedly, and I'm taking L's, it could be a little bit frustrating. So I'm not going to mess with this. There's the bounce, you know, right off of this 25,000 even level. Big surprise. We're catching a little bit. You know, those are the small scalpy style trades that I'm looking for, but I'm not going to push this anymore. I'm going to chill, as the kids say. Chill. Guys, this has been fun. This has been awesome, guys. Now, before I wrap this stream up, I was only scheduled to be trading with you guys Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So, in consolation for doing no giveaway today, because I'm not going to run a giveaway today, because we gave away way too many accounts this week, we're going to run one tomorrow. I'll give you guys the early heads up. I'm going to be live with you guys normal time tomorrow. I'll call it out in Discord, probably like 8:30 a.m., something like that, 9 a.m. Ahead of NYSE Open. We'll be running some giveaways tomorrow. Appreciate you guys hopping on. Thanks for being here. If you guys want to check out Top 1 Futures, here is the link right here. Code RDF gets you the best deal. How many hours on the live today? 3 hours and 35 minutes. Guys, we are hanging out live for long periods of time. You guys want to check it out, there is the link in chat. I appreciate y'all hopping on. Thank you very much for being here. If you want to hop in the 100% free trading Discord that I just mentioned, where I call out as much as I possibly can in relation to all the fun stuff that I'm doing, here is the link to hop in the 100% free trading community. Thank you for being here, guys. I appreciate you. I'm about to grab some lunch and then maybe come back and scout my little heart out. See what we can do in some of these sim accounts. See if we don't stop selling off here. There you go on YouTube and Kick. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys. I see y'all in chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Y'all are awesome. Remember, guys, quick disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. I do not provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Please make sure you do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is. Even if funded prop from accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top on Futures, code RDF, Bookmap, and others. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. I will talk to you tomorrow. I'll see you at Discord. Trade well the rest of the day.